जय राधा माधव, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरधारी, जय यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा, जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की। Hare Krishna, welcome to our Sunday Feast program. Today we are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 9, verse 21. 9.21. Let's try to recite that. Tetam bhunktva swargalokam vishalam, Shine punye martyalokam vishanti, Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna, Gata gatam kama kama labhante, Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam, Shine punye martyalokam vishanti, Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna, Gata gatam kama kama labhante,
Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam,
Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam,
Shine punye martyalokam vishanti,
Shine punye martyalokam vishanti,
Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna,
Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna,
Gatagatam kama kama labhante,
Gatagatam kama kama labhante,
Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam,
Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam,
Shine punye martyalokam vishanti,
Shine punye martyalokam vishanti,
Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna,
Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna,
Gatagatam kama kama labhante,
Gatagatam kama kama labhante,
Ekam bhukta
Vedam Bhukta Swargalokam Vishalam.
Shri Punye Marti Lokam Vishanti.
Evam Trayi Dharmam Anuprapanna.
Gatagatvam Kama Kama Lubhante. Ekam Bhuktva Swargalokam Vishalam. Shine Punye Marti Lokam Vishanti. Evam Trayi Dharmam Anuprapanna. Gatagatvam Kama Kama Lubhante. They, tam, that, bhumtva, having enjoyed, swargalokam, heaven, vishalam, vast, kshine, being exhausted, punye, the results of their pious activities, martyalokam, to the mortal earth, vishanti, fall down, evam, thus, trayi, of the three Vedas, dharmam, doctrines, anuprapannaha, following, gata agatam, death and birth, kama kamaha, desiring sense enjoyments, labhande, attain. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat the translation. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment, but by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas, achieve only repeated birth and death. Purport. Please listen to the purport. One who is promoted to the higher planetary systems enjoys a longer duration of life and better facilities for sense enjoyment. Yet, one is not allowed to stay there forever. One is again sent back to this earth upon finishing the resultant fruits of pious activities. He who has not attained perfection of knowledge as indicated in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha, or in other words, he who fails to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, becomes baffled about achieving the ultimate goal of life, and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets and then again coming down as if situated on a Ferris wheel, which sometimes goes up and sometimes comes down. The purport is that instead of being elevated to the spiritual world, from which there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply revolves in the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary systems. One should better take to the spiritual world and to enjoy an eternal life full of bliss and knowledge, and never return to this miserable material existence. Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Mukam karoti vācālam pangum tankayate giram yat kripātamaham vande Shrigurum Dīnatarinam Jnanakarāntasya jnanānjana shalakaya Chakshurunmritam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Hare Krishna. Tetum bhuktva sarvalogam vishalam kshene punne martyalogam vishanti. Evam trayi dharma manuprapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante. So, this verse is very very attractive verse in terms of the people who really wanted to know what happens when they leave their body. One. Second, for the people who know much more, that okay, after leaving this body they go to some other place. And this shloka gives some kind of an information of where do they go after leaving the body. And thirdly, for the devotees, it's kind of like an eye-opener of what should be the end goal of life. That means, what's the end goal of life for the devotees? To go back home, back to God. So, as I mentioned, so this gives multiple layers of information. So, in this 9.21, in continuation of 20, so last week, I was not here, but I think Prabhu was given a really good explanation of what was 9.20 mentioning about. 9.20 was mentioning about Traividya Mam Somapa Puta Papa. Can anybody summarize what Prabhu said yesterday, last week? Not yesterday, last week? How many of you were there last week? Nobody still. Yes. Yes, somebody can give a summarization of what Prabhu said or what you understand. It talking about how one can actually by following the Traividya, the three principles of Vedas, or following the three Vedas, can Swargalogam, what is that? Traividya Mam Somaputa Papa Yajne Shishta Swarga Gatim Prapyanti. They can actually Swargadim means they can actually go to Swargalok. Heavenly planets. So this is in continuation of that. So let's read the translation of last verse. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly, purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Right? So yeah, that's kind of like an information of when we study the Vedas, when we actually follow what is mentioned in the Vedas, where do we go? What will happen to us? So this class is also, I should say, a continuation of what I think Prabhu discussed last week. I just wanted to give a little bit more technical aspects, or rather a little bit more details of in terms of how to go to Swargaloka, or what is happening in Swargaloka, how we can understand there is Swargaloka. Those kind of things I'm trying to touch upon in this class, Krishna Gita. So, as mentioned in the previous verse and this verse also, Hare Krishna Prabhu seeks the blessings of all the great Vaishnavas assembled here. as mentioned in the previous verse and in this verse, people who are actually following the three Vedas, Traividya, Trai. What is Trai? Three. Trai is a beautiful name. It actually talks about the Vedas. The name of Vedas is Trai because of two reasons. One is that there were primarily three Vedas. What were the three Vedas? Sama, Rig, Yajur. Right? Atharva was actually kind of an appendix wherein it actually came for mostly into the ritualistic form. For the ritualistic aspect is what Atharva has been extracted later. But primarily it was three Vedas, Trai. Prabhupada in one of the lectures, Prabhupada mentions Trai is also mentioning about three aspects in the Vedas. One is Karma Kanda, second is Jnana Kanda, the third one is Upasana Kanda. That is also three. So, in these three Vedas, or the three aspects of the Vedas, if we follow correctly, then it is said that you will actually go to Swargalokam. So the question arises, like, is that the purpose of Vedas? Same. Yeah. Vedesya sarve aham eva vedyo. Right? So through Vedas I am to be known. So but here, why it is actually saying by Traividya Mam Somapa Puda Papa. Right? Puda Papa. When you are cleansed of Papa. Puta means cleansing. Puta na means unclean. Dirt. Anyway, so when you're actually cleansed of all your activities and when you're actually following the Vedas, then you will actually attain Swargalokam. It is said that Vedas is a sugar-coated thing. Prabhupada several times it's mentioned, especially when the shloka wherein Prabhupada is saying the flowery language, Yamimam Pushpitam Vajam. Pushpitam Vajam means it's a beautiful word. The Sanskrit word is very nice. Pushpitam Vajam. Have you ever heard of this, something called a Pushpitam Vajam? Flowery. Yamimam Pushpitam Vajam Pravadanti Avipaschita. Vedavadharata Partha. Pushpitam Vajam is mean, what is the purpose of flower? To give fragrance, okay. But somebody told that attract. Attraction. Right? Attraction. The flower is very bright in color. Right? Very bright in color and very fragrant. Only in Canada I found bright colors without any fragrance. No. That's what, when you need to have the fragrance, you need to go to tropical countries. That is when you will get the real fragrant champa, mallika, champakalata, jasmine. These are all like real fragrance. Here we don't have to be. Okay, we might be having roses here, but hardly we don't get fragrance. Even.
Fragrance is there.
But these are all tropical plants.
It is coming from there.
Yeah. So that's what. So this bright colors and this sweet smell is the characteristics of flower. And why do flowers have these characteristics? Is to attract the bees. Right? When bees comes, what happens? Pollination happens. Pollination is the only purpose of flower. That's the only purpose of flower. Of course, from the flower the fruit comes. That is a process. But the flower being these characteristics, of attracting the bee comes, but bee can see the bright flower, bright color. And by seeing that bright color, it attracts to that flower. And the moment it comes near, the sweet smell attracts the bee further. And the sweet smell actually creates a lust or does a desire inside in the bee. And the bee got attracted profusely to the flower. And now the bee goes, and now inside the flower, with this eyes and smell, then it's a feast for the bee. What is a feast? Honey. And the honey and the bee is actually, it's just completely intoxicated with the honey. And without its knowledge, what happens is that this pollens stick to the legs of bee. And then it goes to another flower. And there the pollination happens. See the beautiful design of the Creator. That's what it is said that Pushpitam Vajam. So this is the example we have to remember. Pushpitam Vajam means this is attractive. The Vedas will actually attract you primarily with these kind of things. It will actually give you so many beautiful views, like a bright flower. Then it will actually give you beautiful smell, like the attractive sweet smell of the flower. Then it will actually give you an attractive feast, just like the honey. Right? And when you are actually doing this according to the Vedas, that unknowingly what will happen to us, just like the pollen is getting attached to the feet of this honey bee, is that we will actually getting purified of our existence. Do you follow? Yep. When you are actually getting purified of the process, then what happens is that the very same thing, eating, mating, defending and everything will become the way for our liberation. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Right? And this process of getting purified by following the prescribed method according to the Vedas is what will actually take us to finally your moksha. Moksha means you're attaining liberation from this material world. And by attaining the liberation of this material world, we will actually go back home, back to Godhead. Right? Liberation is a vast subject. It's a completely different topic by itself, wherein we know after liberation, where can we go? Things like that. But the purpose of the Vedas is to take us back home, back to Godhead through a very prescribed, authorized method. And if you're actually following Vedas, that means you are on the path of that liberation. But not sure. Right? Not sure.
You are the cleansing process.
Why I said not sure is because sometimes people actually get attracted to the very process itself, not to the goal. Right? Like for example, our Prabhu's name? Padaseva Prabhu. Our Prabhu. Divagar Prabhu. Yeah. I want to give an example wherein it's practical. Yeah. Divagar Prabhu goes to Costco. Padaseva Prabhu, I don't think you go to Costco, right? Mataji told Divagar Prabhu that Prabhu go to Costco and buy milk and get some bananas also. Okay? And Divagar Prabhu takes, he just takes his car and said that, okay, milk and banana, anything you need? And she said, no, before going out of the house. And she said that, no, that's it, milk, bananas, and that's it. Maybe get some sugar also. Okay? 3 items. Divagar Prabhu said, yes, why not? He goes. The moment he gets to the Costco, he sees Colgate toothpaste, $5 off. Wow. Prabhu grabs one. Right? Further he goes. Cashew nuts, $3 off. Take 2 packs. Why one? Just 2 packs. Just like that, he just goes and on and on and on, and one full cart of all the things, and he comes back home. Mataji starts looking after things and everything. Where is milk?
That is the one thing forgot.
Okay. Where is, what was the second thing, Prabhu? Bananas.
Yes.
Prabhu said, oh, bananas. And of course, sugar is also not there. But one cart full of paper towels is there, Adidas shoes is there, another 2 extra blankets. Already 5 blankets are there, 3 unopened, another 2 more blankets. right? How many of you see that crazy shopping in Costco? Right? It's like that, right? When we discount is there, that's what. So he goes to Costco and he comes back with the things which were supposed to get. What was the thing supposed to get? Milk, sugar, and bananas. No. That's what I say. So this is, the moment we get into that, the flowery things will actually start attracting us and we just go after that. And the purpose of the goal will not achieve. The purpose, what is the purpose? To attain, to get to that relative principles and attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is for God. You know? And that is what Prabhupada is, in 2-3 places in Krishna says. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Krishna says. The Vedas is actually dealing with the three gunas, Arjuna. So Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, you become Nistraigunya. Nistraigunya means being detached or being away from these three gunas. Or being, in other words, Krishna says, Arjuna, be aware of these Vedas. You know, because you can get carried away, attracted. Unless and until you really don't know. Doesn't matter to most of us like me, because we are all below the Vedic standards. There's no question of general people of getting carried away by Vedas. Why? Because we don't know what Vedas is in the first place. We don't know what Vedas is talking about in the first place. So there's no question of being carried away, right? But this one is particularly talking about the people who are really following the Vedas for a purpose. What is the main purpose of Vedas? To go back to Godhead, to get purified of our life and follow the principles, and then Artha, Kama and Moksha. Finally get back to the liberation. Understand what I'm trying to say or getting too complicated? Raise your hand if you're getting too complicated. So far so good? Right. Now, coming back to the verse. So this particular section is actually talking about the people who really want to follow the Vedas. Somapa. Just Soma juice, drinking the Soma juice and doing the worship, Agnihotram, and all this different kind of sacrifices, and then attaining. People do Vedic rituals just for the purpose of attaining Swargaloka. Right? Just for the purpose of attaining Swargaloka. So it is said that when we are actually following the certain principles, it is said that Vedas will actually even give, there is a particular faculty in the Vedas wherein it will actually give you prescribed methods to go to Swargaloka. And if you actually following that, you will actually go to Swargaloka. So people do that. People do follow that. Even now, people do follow that so that they can actually attain a higher planets, right? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that unsuccessful yogi, Arjuna asked a question in the 6th chapter. Arjuna asked a question like, oh Krishna, what happens to a person who becomes a fallen when they are practicing this yoga? Because Arjuna said that when Krishna was explaining all this yogic process, Vivikta Desham, you have to sit on a place with his eyes closed, half open, with nose on the tip of your nose, and all sit on a straight posture. Arjuna was actually baffled and he just completely lost and said that, wait, I cannot follow these principles of this yoga, what you're trying to say. Why? Because my mind is not my control. My mind is Chanjalam hi Mana Krishna. My mind is completely Chanchalam. Chanchalam means disturbed. Chalati means move. Chamchalam means always moving. And my mind is completely disturbed. With this mind, how can I perform this yoga or Krishna? Right? Then Krishna understood that this is a real Partha Naivedra Namudra. What is that shloka? Vinastasya vidyate. Nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tat gacchati. Nahi kalyanakrit kaschit. There will be no, when you are actually doing that, it will be always kalyan, it will be always good only. Why? Because even if you do a little bit of this, you will be rewarded. Then the next two following verses is what we are actually talking about, is going to Swargaloka. So Prabhupada, in the next following two verses, Prabhupada is actually talking about a short-term failure and a long-term failure. What is a short-term failure? An unsuccessful yogi who actually fails after a short period. What does that mean? A yogi who is actually trying to do yoga and he fails in a very short period of time, obviously because of our conditioning and our material shortcomings. And that's when Krishna is actually talking, Prapya Punya Kridam Lokan Ushitva Shashvati Samaha Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Prashta. That is the short, like what's that called? The short fall yogi. That means he tried to execute yoga process, but he fall down in a very short period of time. Prapya Punya Kridam Lokan. So he will actually Prapya Punya Kritam, he will actually attain this heavenly planets. The yogi who was trying to achieve the yoga practice, but he fall down in a very short span of time. And then what happens to him? Krishna says that, Arjuna, there is no way he will lose anything. Why? Because he will be rewarded for the little bit of yoga practice he has done. What is the reward he will get? Following? Heavenly planets. Right? And then once he goes to the heavenly planets, what is that? Prapya Punya Kritam Logan, Ushitva Shashvati Samaha. Ushitva means he just enjoys their Shashvati. Shashvata means eternal. For a longer time, right? But here it's not eternal, longer time basically. Shashvati Samaha. For a longer time he will enjoy there. And then what happens? Come back, and then what happens? Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe. He will actually take in birth in a very aristocratic Shuchi, cleanse, and Shrimatam. Shuchi means clean. Another meaning of Shuchi is culture. Right? A very cultured, clean, and Shrimatam, a very opulent house, he will take birth. So here we can actually see that people who are actually practicing yoga, they are not actually following this Traividya and Somapa, Putapa, all these things they are not following. They simply try to transcend from this material world. They simply try to, what I'm trying to say, just trying to just trying to come out of this material world. They are just choosing the path of liberation, right? By restraining their senses, by yogic mystic power, or by yogic practice, right? Yama, niyama, asana, pratyahara, all these things they are trying to do, and they are rewarded with this Swargaloka. They are not following any Vedic principles, right? And then after going to this is a what is it called? It's a token. Or rather a compensation price for not becoming a successful yogi. It will be rewarded, and that reward is going to the heavenly planets, will living for a longer time. Just imagine how much value or how much precious is this yogic practices. A person who is actually doing a little bit of yoga. Yoga means not the asana only. We will just think that, okay, it's sitting at a place and doing a Shavasana, you will take to Swarga Yoga. No. Doing Shavasana will not take us to Swarga Yoga. Yoga means you are actually trying to completely follow the path of yogic process, by trying to dharana, dhyana, samadhi. The moment we are actually come to the dharana stage, is only when the yoga will actually get stimulated. Up to that time, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, all this thing is bodily. The moment you are actually starting dharana is when you are actually doing internal preparation. When your internal preparation happens, when you close all the doors internally, that is when you will be able to dhyana. All other things are peripheral. First, you have to stop your external sensory activities. That is when yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, all these things is to stop your external activities. And once the external activities have been stopped, you have to close the doors internally also. Just like you close the outer gate, and then you just go. For example, in India, a dog is actually chasing you. You run, right? What will you do? You close the outer gate, you come inside and you close the inner door also, right? Same way. You will have to close the outer gates and then the inner gates. And when that dharana happens, when you completely shut down your internal sense, internal doors, completely shut down from all these desires and all these external things, that is when you will be starting the dhyana. When you perfect dharana is when dhyana starts. Just imagine. That is the very complicated process of yoga. We will think that, okay, we'll sit simply, shut down your eyes, think about a rose, right? Then you will think that when you're actually thinking like that, you will get a peace. That is peace. For sure you will get peace. It's not bogus, it's true. Then the moment, because when you are actually shutting down your senses even for 10 minutes, you will get a peace. Why? Because we are getting rest of our senses. Our mind is constantly running. And when we are actually giving rest to our mind, then what happens? You will feel peace. Isn't that true? Just our mind is constantly running with so many things. Even you are sitting idle, with this, our mind is thinking, jumping from one tree to another. Right? Constantly restless. That's what Arjuna said, Krishna, chanchalam, moving one tree to another branch. And when we are actually trying to give rest to this mind, for some time, the mind will feel rested. We give rest to our body. Do we give rest to our mind? Not sure, right? Because in the morning, in the daytime, we are actually running after so many things, right? And in the night, when you're sleeping, the tiger is chasing and the mind is running. In the morning, body is running, and in the night, mind is running. Tiger is chasing and the mind is running, and you feel completely tired. And the morning you wake up and you say, what a swapna I had, what a dream I had. And you tell to your wife that, okay, some tiger was chasing me. And the wife will tell you another story. I was falling down from a 10-story building. Right? The mind is constantly running. And when this mind gets a little bit of rest by this process, even from asana, you will get some kind of a relaxation to your mind because of our conditioning of the mind. But that is not the ultimate aim of. And we pay $1,000 to yoga teacher. Oh, he is great. I felt peace. Do you feel peace? Yes, I will feel peace. Oh, come back tomorrow also. Our second session starts, another $1,000. Right? This is how we get fallen. I'm not talking about that yogi. The yogi who really get into that dharana state, try to shut down and then focus on the Lord, and he become unsuccessful because of his conditionings. And to that yogi is what? Sargalokam. He's been awarded. Follow? That is one way. What is the first way? Following the rigorous principles of yoga and then attaining the not following. Attaining What are we talking about? Are we attaining? What are we talking about? Are we talking about attaining Goloka Vrindavan, or are we talking attaining the Swargaloka? Swargaloka only. Yeah, this is a very low class. Father Seva Prabhu will actually take us to Goloka. I'm talking about only Swargaloka. So first path is the very direct path, wherein Vedic principles, and you do all these things which is prescribed in the Vedic principles, and will take you to Swargaloka. Second one is that you do yoga, and then if you are failing for some reason, then it will actually take you to the Swargaloka, right? The third one is also mentioned, wherein you do what is that called? Charity. You do help Brahmanas, feed Brahmanas, help poor people. And if you're actually doing that profusely in your life, that way you'll also be awarded as a piece to Surgaloka, heavenly planets, right? That is another way. But you cannot simply okay, you just do $1 in Walmart and then you'll go to Surgaloka. That will not happen. You have to really, there is a measurement, there is a, what is it called? Everything is measured and awarded accordingly. According to the law of nature. That is another way. Third way is wherein people who are Kshatriyas, who are fought and dead in the battlefield. In the first chapter of the second chapter, Krishna says to Arjuna, Arjuna, what is to worry? Even if you lose the battle, even if you lose the battle and if you are dead, you will go to Swargaloka and enjoy. So don't worry about that. Krishna is actually talking like a mere materialistic person, right? It's like a businessman, a Bengali. He was, Krishna is actually trying to, trying to play with Arjuna in one sense. Arjuna, not play, rather to bring Arjuna to the senses in the first place. So that's what Krishna is actually trying different ways. But so what I'm trying to say is that is another way. People who are really fought and dead in the war, brave people who got the bullet in their chest, not on their back. What is the difference between getting bullet on the front and getting bullet on the back? Or you will get a bullet on the back only if you run away from the battlefield. You will get a bullet on the chest when you are actually facing the enemy. Those are the different ways by which you can actually attain Sargalokas. There are more details to it. I just touched on the very superficially, what is it according to the scripture says. Now, talking a little bit about the Swargaloka, I think, Prabhu, did you explain a little bit about Swargaloka last time?
You might have forgotten. You can repeat.
Oh, okay.
Tendency of forgetting is very strong.
We have heard several times what Prabhupada says. What is Swargaloka looks like according to our Vedic scriptures, according to our different scriptures, different Puranas, whatever. There's a lot of details there, but I only got a little few just to cover what is Swargaloka looks like. It is mentioned that Prabhupada gives wonderful example, analogy of the Swargaloka experience of people coming from underdeveloped countries. They come to a developed country like US or maybe Europe or Germany or where. And when they come there, they will actually feel everything wow, right? Big houses, nice roads, clean roads, beautiful green lands, nice cars. Everybody is speaking. One person was telling in India, he came to US and then he came back and said that, in the US, even a beggar is speaking English. They will actually get carried away by all this kind of things. Right? They will say, wow, look at this. Very sophisticated life. Very nice, very cultured, very modern, right? So they will actually get everything and everything is, whatever which is not available in their country, you are getting here, right? Everything is nicely. When my mom came and I took her to Walmart, she said when she saw that all the tomatoes are same size. She was saying in India you will not get the tomatoes of the same size anything. Not a single two tomatoes will be same. All the tomatoes will be different sizes. Something will be elongated, something will be small, something will be different shape. But here, as if like it's almost come out of a factory. Very, very polished, but the taste, that's a different thing. The taste makes a difference, right? That's a different question. But again, what I'm trying to is very sophisticated, very polished, very what is it called? It's very comfortable, luxurious. That's how Prabhupada says that is a very gross analogy of a person coming to Swargaloka. So to some people come here and they will actually feel this is a Swargaloka, right? Same way in the Swargaloka, it's a in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's actually mentioned. The Swargaloka is actually Bhuloka is the kind of like a middle ground wherein we live. It's called a training ground. There is not much of a happiness, there is not much of so much of a miseries, right? Dukhalayam is what Krishna says as the profile of this material world, for sure. But it's kind of like a middle ground, I would say, right? Below, if you just go, there will be miseries. But there is a Bila Swarga also below. That's a different case that we can discuss later. Below the heavenly planet, the Bhurs Loka, there is a Bila Swarga, which is underneath, wherein all these what is that? Where is Bali Maharaj is gone? Which Loka? Sutala Loka. Sutala Loka is like said, it's extremely opulent than even the heavenly planets. So those kind of Bila Swargas are there. But other than that, lower planets are generally miserable planets. But higher planets, Bhuva, Suvaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyaloka. And we are talking about Swargaloka. Swarga is pig, right? Not Swargaloka. 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 This Swargaloka is what the denizens of heaven. We are talking about that particular sloka, particular loka we are here, right? So anything above that is like Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and all are even higher planets. We are not talking about that. We are talking about the Swargaloka, which is wherein the Indra and all other Gandharva, Skinner. So these people are actually elevated people. They are living entities. They are jivas. You follow? They are all jivas. Jivas means what? When you say jivas means, what does that mean, jiva? Living entities. In other words, Atma, yeah. Who are like us, right? Who are like jivatmas, right? Who are actually just like living entities who are living in this material world. They are also living entities living in a higher planets. Now, when they are actually there, what happens is that they are having, first and foremost is that they are having a longer life. Remember the word, I was a Shashwati Sama. Shashwati Sama means longer life. Shashwata is normally set for the eternal. But here it's actually mentioned eternal but a longer time. According to exactly material calculation, it's a longer time. First and foremost thing is that they have got a longer life. And then the second thing is that the Swargaloka is devoid of old age, hunger, thirst, any kind of diseases, heat, cold, fatigue, labor, fear, repentance, nothing is there in that world. Whatever is there in this material world, that things are not there. Right? But definitely the time period is there, of course. We should not say that the birth, death, old age and disease and everything. That if you say birth and death as a point A to point B, that point A to point B is there in the heavenly planets. But old age is not there. You will be starting in the heavenly planets as a 16 to 20 years to 25 years. You will remain there for that Shashwati Sama for 25 years. 25 years age. Right? What is it, the shloka which actually talks about Krishna? Advaidam Achyudam Adyam Purana Nava Yavvanam Cha. Krishna is actually said that Adyam Puranam. He is Adyam Purana person, but he always remains Nava Yavvanam Cha.
Age of 18 years.
In the age of 18 years. Krishna always 16 years. Always remains in that age, irrespective. Same way, not in the same way, but similarly, resembling that a person who is actually going to Swargaloka, he immediately get a very Swargiya body. Swargiya body means he will get a heavenly body. There are different kinds of body. What we get here is a body which actually made up of these 5 elements. Bhumi, Abora, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi. When we go to down planets in the Patala Loka, what kind of body we get? We'll get a Yatana Sharira. Right? When we go to heavenly planet, and Yatana Sharira will actually, what is the Yatana Sharira does? Yatana Sharira will actually increase our suffering. If our finger got cut, we'll get some amount of pain with this body. But when you go to Yatana Sharira, when your finger got cut, you'll get 10,000 times more pain on the Yatana Sharira. Right? That is because that Sharira should give you more pain. That is the Sharira which we get when you go to hellish planets. But when you go to heavenly planets, it's the other way. It's indirectly proportional. It's just opposite to that. Whatever happiness we are enjoying in this material world, right? Whatever taste you are getting by eating a gulab jamun, we get certain amount of taste, right? And that's what we are enjoying. Does anybody eat gulab jamun for the healthy purpose? Why do we eat a gulab jamun? For our taste, for our pleasure. The amount of pleasure you get by eating one gulab jamun here, you will get 1,000,000 times more there in the heavenly planets. You will get that body. You will get a heavenly body. And that body will not have any kind of these problems. Because that body you will get from the age of 20 or 20. I don't know the age, but of course, the most the most youthful age wherein you can enjoy all your senses. Yeah. And then you will not have all this kind of hunger, thirst, all these kind of things. And then your body will be naturally fragrant. In the Bhagavatam, several places where it actually mentions. One is in the Gajendra Moksha. It is said that in that river, in that pond, I don't know which river is that, where Gajendra is actually doing his pastimes. In that pond or river, celestial beings comes and takes bath. These heavenly planets will come and heavenly beings will come and take bath in there. And these ladies come and take bath. And it said that in the Bhagavatam that their fragrance of their body goes to almost 8 or 10 miles. Their fragrance, the body fragrance. Another place where it actually mentions is that the mother of Vyasadeva, right? Satyavati. She has got, that's right, Prabhu? She has got a boon from Parashar Muni that her body will be fragrant for this kind of thing. And that we will get that kind of a body. Just imagine, right? You get a natural, you don't have to have that, what is that called? roll on, forget about roll on, that thing. What's that? Deodorant, anti-odor deodorant, right? That is, we have a natural deodorant always, 24/7. Your body will be fragrant, naturally fragrant. Your body will be ever youth. We just mentioned ever youthful, right? And there is nothing inauspicious or disgusting in this Swargaloka, it is said. Nothing inauspicious. Everything is very auspicious, and everything is very, very pleasing to our eyes and ears and everything. People who are living there have extraordinary capacities. They are extremely powerful, right? They're very much, it's just like, in the movie Avatar. How many of you have seen the movie Avatar? Don't raise your hands. In that one, it said that the people Navi, they are having extraordinary powers. They are having their body very much strong, and their bodies, their bonds are reinforced carbon fiber, and they are almost like 10 to 15 feet tall or something like that, right? And then they can actually they are very much stronger people. Just imagine, just take that as an example, and then consider 1,000 times more stronger and efficient than this example. And they are they can do extraordinary things. Everything is made of golden palaces, celestial. This is called Nandana garden. Kulashekar Alvar in one of in his prayers. Nabhiranda Nandanandana. Oh God, there's a beautiful verse wherein he says that I don't want to go to this Nandanandana garden, or I don't want any of these mystic powers. But I just Bhave Hridaya Bhavane Bhavayeyam Bhavantam. That's a beautiful verse wherein Nabhiranda, I don't want to go to this Nandanandana gardens. I don't want it to be, being carried away by these mystic powers. I just don't want to be any of those mystic things or heavenly planets. Bhave Hridaya Bhavane Bhavayeyam Bhavantam. I just need to have my Hridaya Bhavana in my house. I just need to have your darshan every time. Kulashekar Alvar says. So there is something called a Nandanandana gardens. And this Nandanandana gardens is very famous garden. How many of you have gone to Dubai gardens? Mataji have gone to Dubai garden? What is it called, Dubai gardens?
Dubai gardens.
Yeah, I've been, last time I went to the...
Butterfly gardens there.
Yeah, that famous...
Butterflies will come and sit on
Yeah, exactly. So Dubai gardens, last time I went there, and I can see it's like the whole day you can roam around, and different flowers across the world, they grow, and it's beautiful, right? And this Nandanandana gardens is 1,000,000 times more beautiful than. In Nandanandana gardens, it's like there is a lot of beautiful rivers. If you want a river of mango juice, there is a river of mango juice. If you want a river of sugarcane juice, you get sugarcane juice. And guess what? Where will be the biggest queue? River of liquor. Just like whatever happens in this Somarasa. Of course, the liquor, to be on a standard terminology, right? And everybody will be lying on the bank of this river only. The sugarcane and mango, only kids will go. Of course, there's no kids, right? We said 21 years. So, everybody will be on the Soma river. And what happens is that they just keep on drinking, and then what's the problem after one shot and two shots here? Maybe 3 shots, right? What is the threshold by which you will get knocked off? Maybe 3 shots.
They further go down illegal.
Yeah, when you take 3 shots of liquor here, I don't know, whatever, shots or whatever, you will get intoxicated and you will knocked up. You cannot take any more, right? That is the problem with our body. But there it said that you can just keep on taking, you will get intoxicated, but your body will be ever strong. How beautiful is that? And that is what it's did. And of course, after getting intoxicated, there are apsaras. I don't want to talk about apsaras. Everybody knows apsaras. Apsaras, everybody knows. Mataji's might not be knowing. Prabhu's might be knowing. I only see Prabhu's laughing. Right? So, beautiful. Prabhupada says that there are society girls, they will be there to entertain you and they will be unlimited enjoyment. And there also, for any kind of, even for your sensual enjoyment, there is a limit wherein you cannot continue after a certain point of time. Where in there you don't have anything kind of restriction. You can just keep on, continue your sensual enjoyment. You will never get tired. You will not get bored. You will be getting multiple options. The whole environment is covered by sweet sound. Always be melodious sound, beautiful sound. There is no honking. Of course, there is no honking here, but at least there is no yelling. There is no other sound or anything. There is no mobile phone ringing. Nothing is there. Every time some sweet sound is going, a nice ambience is there. There is no body waste coming out of that. There is no carbon dioxide. There is nothing coming, there is no urine, there is no stool, nothing from their body. Because that body is completely specially made according to the heavenly standards. There are no cars there. There are no bus. There are no trains. What do they have? They have airplanes. They have airplanes. They have Pushpak Vimans. They just board an airplane and then they just go. And they travel in the speed of thoughts. How much speed, how much time you need to, let's say for example, Ruby Mataji is there. Mataji, can you go and visit your Prabhu now? She will immediately close her eyes and she will visit Prabhu and come back. And where is Prabhu sitting? He is sitting in Dehradun. Right? Thousands of miles away. She will simply close her eyes. She will go and see him and come back. That is the speed of mind. Right? And they travel in the speed of mind. That's what it is said. Why? Because they just get into the airplane and they will just reach the destination by yasya smarana matrena. Just like Krishna says. By just imagine I have to go there, they will reach there. So all these are the there is no grief, there is no tussle, there is no quarrel, nothing is there. Everything is perfectly arranged. So that is the whole. This is an overview of what is happening in the heavenly planets. Even we also know that other religions are also talking about heaven, right? Especially when in the Islamic, in the religion also they talk about Jannat. What is Jannat? They're talking about heaven, wherein same thing. Most of these things are pretty much the same. They will only get a river made of liquor. There will be 72 virgins waiting for you at the door. When you enter the heaven, you will get 72 virgins. And then you will get to live with them, you get enjoy, and there are a lot of liquor. Here the liquor is haram for them, but there the liquor is permitted. Halal, right? That is what it says. I'm not joking, but that is what it said. It's a contrast. You see, the thing is that we should not be ridiculing that. There is a standard of tapasya there. Even though say that there is a high standard of tapasya. You should not be, why liquor is haram for them? Because that is a strict standard of tapas. You have to endure the tapas here so that you will get enjoyment there. So we have to take the positive side of it. That's what it is. Same with our other Georgian or rather, Christian. This actually talking about heaven. Angels are there. They will actually go there. They will be, what is that called? Garden of Eden. There is a lot of beautiful gardens are there. So many other facilities are there. Now, coming back to from here, sitting in this material world, in the earth, how can we know, or how can we appreciate, or how can we actually understand that there is a heavenly planet there? These are all mentioned in the scriptures, yes. But at least, what is the probability that there is a heaven there? Or maybe, let's take a step back. What is the probability that there is a higher civilization up there? So that for that we have to understand that a little bit of astrology, not astrology, astronomy, sorry, wherein we can actually understand what is happening in our whole universe, how we can actually come to a probable understanding that there could be something like a heavenly planets up there. So we know that actually we are living in this earth, in this universe, in this earth, and this earth is having a solar system, and the solar system has so many other solar systems which actually comprises to a galaxy. What is the name of our galaxy? Milky Way. And similar to this, these galaxies, and this galaxy contains so many solar systems, right? And for almost like these galaxies is having almost 400 billion planets and stars are there. 400 billion planets and stars, right? This is only our galaxy, which is called Milky Way, right? So we are sitting in this material earth, and we are saying that we are the only population, or we are the only civilization living in this material world. What are the chances that there are no other civilization in the other side of the world? One, why did I say the sheer size of this volume of this galaxy is to prove that there are other planets also. Okay? The second thing is that they are far, far away from us. So for us to understand that, okay, there is another civilization, we have to see, we have to hear, we have to get some information from them. But the distance, the area, the circumference of our galaxy itself is 400, almost 2 million light years. 2 million light years. Like for example, our nearest galaxy is called Andromeda, right? The nearest, our galaxy is Milky Way. The nearest galaxy to us is called Andromeda. In our same in our same galaxy. In the same, in the universe. If you just go out of the city and then on a non-moon day, if you just take a very good binocular, and you can see this Andromeda, which is 2 million light years away from us. 2 million light years away from us. That means light travels in a speed of 300,000 kilometers per second, right? When you see this Andromeda with our eyes, that means that light has started 2 million light years away from that space. That means that what we are seeing with our eyes has started their traverse almost before our evolution even started. Just can you imagine? The human species evolution even started. Before that, it's what that light is started. And now I'm seeing with my eyes. Can you imagine the sheer size of that one? I'm seeing with that. But that light has started 2 million years ago. And now I'm seeing and hitting my eyes. And that's what I'm able to see it. Right? That is the sheer size of 2 galaxies. And how many galaxies I told about which we have? 400 billion galaxies are there. And what are the chances that none of and we are saying that there is no other civilizations in that one? No, that is not probable. Like for example, our Arul Prabhu is a singer, just imagine. He's a singer in Stouffville. Stouffville got talent and he got a singer prize. And can he think that, okay, he is the only singer in the GTA? Just because he has not gone out of Stouffville, can he say that there is no other singer in GTA? The moment he go out of the GTA, there will be a GTA got talent, and that's when it says there are multiple singers who sings better than me. Right? I'm just giving an example to show that we are in a cuckoo's land, and we are thinking, not we, rather, if people who are actually negating this Sorgaloga and all the other blogas which are talking about the frontier planetary systems, people say that, okay, give me the truth. These are the probable answers to them to show that, okay, there is a civilization which is up there. There could be, or there is civilization, right? The only thing is that we are not able to see it. But the sheer size of the volume of the universe, the cosmos itself will actually negate our saying that, okay, there could not be anything. There are possibilities. And there is something called Kardashev scale. Just Google it. Kardashev. Kardashev is a scientist, and he was actually he has come up with an assumption that there are different types of civilizations out there. One is the type 1 civilization. And this type 1 civilization is the one, we are type 0 or 0.3 civilization, right? And what are we doing? We are actually utilizing whatever energy what we have. What are the different sources of energy we have? I'll wrap it up in 5 minutes. What are the different types of energy sources we have? Electricity, wind power, right? Sun, light power, all these things. Whatever this energy, what we are getting, we are actually utilizing that, and that is how we move forward. One day, if this electricity is not there, then we are doomed. Right? Even if not, there's no electricity. One time, what happened? One of my devotees' house, the house got fire, right? And then they were all just gathering their passports, and they were just getting their DTs, and they were just running out. And this guy, their son, was inside the house still, and the fire was there. Why are you not coming? I didn't find my mobile. He was just running around and looking for the mobile, right? So these are all our types of energies, I would say, rather, which actually keep on going. So type 0 or type 0.3 level civilization are us, wherein we are only harnessing the low level energies, and our civilization is only very low level civilization. Even with our AI and supercomputers and whatever this SpaceX rockets and everything, we are very low in the rung of the civilization. That is type 0 civilization. Type 1 civilization are a higher standards. That's not us. They are 1,000 times more modern and technologically advanced than us. So what they do, they harness the power from the nature. When I say nature, is not only like water and this, and they harness the power from earthquake, the tsunamis, from the lava, what's that called, the volcanoes, right? All these big energy sources, they harness the power, and by they will control it, right? That is type 2 civilization. This is a modern scientists which are actually mentioning about that. Type 3 civilization. Type 3 civilization, they harness the power from a complete star itself. They will completely control the star. For us, the main star is sun. They will actually completely harness the power from the sun, and they control the sun. They control the weather, right? Type 4 civilization, they actually completely control the entire universe. Universe means they actually control the movement of the planets. They can control the time. For example, how do we say we have 24 hours? Because that's the time the earth is actually rotating, right? What if I say that I will slow down the rotation? Right? If I slow down the rotation, that instead of 24 hours, I'll get 26 hours. You know what I'm saying? So that is way they will actually control the universe. That is type 4 civilization. There is type 5 civilization, wherein they have a control of the entire galaxy, the galactic control, right? And the type 5 civilization is when they will actually have the control beyond time and space. So this is the Kardashev scale, or the civilizations which the modern scientists even now they are thinking that these civilizations exist. Now when we extrapolate this thing into our Vedic cosmology, we can see the type 1 civilization or type 0 civilization is us. Now type 1 civilization, which is they are actually controlling the whole, the earthquake and everything, and they can actually control the weather. They are like superhumans, the people who are actually really, what is it called? They have initially, or rather, we call Shakti Avesh avatars, we say, superhuman Shakti, people who have really got power, empowered by the Lord. Type 3 civilization who can actually control the entire galaxy. So these are the saints. Like for example, Kardama Muni. Have you heard of Kardama Muni? What did Kardama Muni did for Devabhuti? Can anybody say? He has completely just changed the whole design itself, in the sense like, he has created a big plane. And then he was just moving from planets to planets. The whole laws of physics were broken at this time. Right? Everything. That is saints. And then type 4 are the one who are actually having the entire universe, controlling the entire universe. They are demigods. Type 5 is the one who is actually controlling the entire cosmos. Right? The entire cosmos. That should be Brahma. And type 5 or type 6 is the person who is actually controlling beyond the time and space. And that will be Mahavishnu. And type, there can be one other type. There is no civilization, there is only one person, unfortunately, type 7. And that person is even controlling the Mahavishnu. And who is that personality? He is the Supreme Ekopyaso Rachayitam Jagatanda Koti. So that's Krishna, Supreme Personality God. So what I'm trying to say is that these Swarga Lokas which are there is all the probability and possibility that it's going to exist, or it is existing according to our Vedic standards, and also if you are actually following and extrapolating the modern science also. What I'm trying to say is that this has been mentioned by the modern scientists, type 1 civilization, type 2 civilization. And when we take these descriptions of type 1 and different civilization and look at with the scriptures which is mentioned, yes, Kardama Muni had done like that. You know what, this guy, Prahlad's father, who's Prahlad's father? What did Hiranyakashipu did, When Hiranyakashipu got the power, Hiranyakashipu was actually, when he woke up one day, it was too much sunny. What did Hiranyakashipu do? Turn off the sun thing and sun came down again. Like for example, Monday morning, if you want to, very nice snow going out there, you don't want to get up 6 o'clock, you want to go to office. You just switch off the sun will go down again. The time will reset to 5 o'clock. Can you do that? If you want to get up at 6 o'clock and very cozy under the blanket and you don't want to get up at all at 6 o'clock, and then it's very snowy outside, what you want to do is that you mentally wanted to turn off the sun. Go back to 3 o'clock so that you will get another 3 more hours to sleep. Hiranyakashipu did that. It said in Bhagavad. Isn't that true, Prabhu? He was actually controlling the whole nature. The whole thing was under his control. In winter, he thinks that, okay, it's too much of winter, I just want a summer. He just turn on the summer will come. No, he used to do that. He turn on the summer, he will just, it said that by the movement of his eyebrows, the demigods were actually following his path. He's doing that. So these are the different types of civilizations even the modern scientists used to say. And what I'm trying to say is that civilization are existing and has to exist. Why? Because our Shastras, the Vedic scriptures, is actually telling the truth. So here, in this shloka, it is said that these are all the descriptions of the Swarga Loka, and what happens to the Swarga Loka after we going, and enjoying all these things, what will happen to us? Kshine punye Martyalokam Vishanti. We will simply come down this material world and we will just keep on going and taken birth as a Mr. XYZ and then have to go to school, have to take office, work the school, come back after 8 hours or 9 hours of work, fight with the wife, clean the pots and then go to sleep. See, Punarabhijannam, Jadhare Shayana. We just have to keep on going on this washing pots thing. How long will you wash the pots? Even if you just go to this heavenly planets, you will just continue this whole process, right? And that's what Kshine Punya means. Kshina means what? Completely, you just exhausted of all these merits. Like this cruise. How many of you have gone to Royal Caribbean cruise? 7 days after. How many days, Mataji? 5 days, 6 days? 6 days, right? 6 days, can you say that I want to stay one more day? What will happen? You go to the captain and say, first of all, you cannot go to the captain. Imagine you go to the captain and say that, take $10, I need one more day. What will captain do? Captain will kick you out, right? And then you have Kshine Punye, Royal Caribbean, Vishanti. Right? You will just come out, same thing. You just go there, you do all this apsaras, liquor thing and everything. After time ticks, the moment you get into the Swargalok, of course it's a Shashwati Sama, it's a longer time period. But the moment you are just there, your clock starts. And you are actually exhausting your Punya Karma. And that Punya Karma is, and for sure one thing happens. In the Swargaloka, there is one thing which is for sure happening. Most probably 99.9%, and that is, you never get an opportunity to think and do service to Krishna. You never ever get an opportunity unless and until you are a saint. If you are a saint, you will not go to Swargaloka, you will go to Janaloka or Tapaloka for sure. But the people who are ending up in this Swargaloka is primarily for enjoyment. So when they go there, you will never get a moment, an opportunity to think about Krishna, to do tapasya, to do any kind of austerity. And without austerity, what happens? There is no tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam. Shuddhena sattva Brahma Saukyam tu Anantam. You will not get an opportunity. And that tapas will not happen. Whatever time you are getting, every moment of your time, every single opportune time, you will be having enjoyment. And when you are actually doing that enjoyment, you will never ever get an opportunity. Your complete pious activity will be exhausted, come down, and you will take the birth again. And it will be extremely difficult for us to catch up and then go back to the Godhead, right? So this sloka is actually giving a warning. I just spent a little bit of time to give an explanation of how this Swargaloka is looking like. I'm not an advocate of Swargaloka. I don't want you to go to Swargaloka. Swargaloka is very tempting. Prabhupada says that even for devotees, when you are actually getting an opportunity to go to Swargaloka, you should never go to Swargaloka. Prabhupada says that. Why? Because Swargaloka is very tempting. Because see, whatever activities we are performing, in terms of chanting, in terms of doing, we get a... See, what is that called? One of the acharyas is actually saying, it's like... Muktir Muguladanjali Sevate Asman Dharmartha Kama Samaya Pratiksha. For a devotees, Mukti means what? Liberation. Muktir Mukuladanjali. Mukuladanjali means with folded hands. Sevate Asman. They are waiting for a service in your doorsteps. Dharma Artha Kama Samaya Pratiksha. They are in the queue. Samaya Pratiksha means they are in the queue after Mukti. And after this, the heavenly plants are all waiting. Devotees want to choose what I have to take. That is the power of devotee. He can choose what he can take. Whether he want to take for Mukti, whether he want to take for Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, anything he can take. Heavenly plant. So Prabhupada said that don't ever get carried away by this thought of going to heavenly planets, because all these things are coming and knocking your door saying that, hey, heavenly planets, remember that Prabhu was telling about that 71 virgins? No. Or that river of liquor. Even slight of desire happening, that desire can actually drag you there, unfortunately. So be very careful. Should only be thinking about attaining, going back home, back to Godhead, because so much of pleasure, so much, who knows, we have already gone to the heavenly planets and enjoyed and come down and we have started again. right? So many times. So we don't have to go to that, do the business again. We should go back home, back to Godhead by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नहीं बोलने वालों की